All right, welcome to episode 3 of Creating the Versa Booth. Where basically, this is essentially just like the third prototype design. It's going to change a lot, obviously, but it's definitely making some progress. Been really busy lately, so I haven't been able to work on it as much as I would like, but what's new? So, what we have here is I added a couple of things. I added this support beam to not only add support for the panels in the middle since there's nothing supporting them, but also as a space filler because seeing how these panels are not twice as tall as they are, I'm sorry, the the height of it is not half like the original design. I think it was the the panel height was half of the width, so that when you laid it across, it would perfectly match up. But there was just some issues with that, like some support issues. So I decided to go ahead and throw that ratio off, and then have like a filler in there, just like this. Once again, not just to give it structural support, but also to fill it in. Whether it's because two of these you can see if I delete this one, two of these would be too much for one panel, and then one of them doesn't reach. So I plan to make one of these beams that fits in here for if you only wanted to have, if you only had one, if you were only one panel deep as far as the width or whatever. So that's just something I plan on doing. What the hell just happened? All right, so added a couple other things. This is a window panel right here, just so you can see if when you're in there recording, if you needed to see the person running the boards or whatever, the engineer. So I got two of those lined up, and this should be about right here. So if each of these is 28, I'm sorry, yeah, 28, 56, yes, whatever. So this should stand, you should be able to see this. A person of average height or even a little bit taller or shorter should be able to see out of this window if it's set up there. Now, there's another thing I added is this, basically just some sort of electrical interface or whatever that allows you to run cables to the inside without breaking any of the seals or seams. So you got to, obviously, it looks like shit, just, it's just a placeholder, but so you got your electrical outlets right here, your XLR cables, or your XLR outlets for like a microphones, and then your 1/4 inch input jacks. I guess it goes without saying this is very useful, so you don't have to, once again, you don't have to have cords run, because there's really no place to run cords. I did think of it after the fact, but these little divots that I have in here do leave some exposed, like right here. Well, no, that wouldn't be exposed. Okay, I'm getting sidetracked. But anyway, so between the beam, the window panel, and the electrical panel, those are some things that I've added. Now I went ahead and did like an exploded view of it, just so I could see the inside, or so I could, without taking it apart, I just went ahead and animated it to where I could take a look at the size to make sure everything's lining up. So basically, you see these divots in here. I wonder if there's a way that I can. So those divots in there line up with these notches on top to give it a little more stability. And the same thing goes for the sides. If you can see, so these notches on top are also, whoops, sorry, I meant to go this way. So these notches on top also line up with the inside, sideways or whatever. I'm not sure what I'm saying. I'm horrible at these tutorials, but you see what I'm saying. If I'll bring that back a little, you can kind of see what I'm talking about. So this will actually be a better angle right here, so you can see that. All right. Yeah, so you can see that those line up, which is pretty cool because once again, it adds to the structural support. And then I also added these. I guess had them before, and then I took them away just for processing reasons, computer power, whatever. But I did add these knobs. You can see the knobs are on the end right here. Those don't necessarily need to be there right here. Those don't necessarily need to be there just for, just to keep it simple. I just left them on there. But these knobs are they're going to actually screw in. They're going to be 1/4 inch threaded knobs. So you can take them off and add them wherever you need them. So that's pretty cool. And those are just, once again, to be able to tie this down with like some sort of a bungee cord or rubber band or whatever it is I decide to go with. So it's coming along. Once again, just to recap, you got the window panel, which is cool for being able to communicate with anybody outside the booth. The support beam as a spacer, but also to add some support for the inner parts of the panel that don't necessarily have any, and then this little cable extender, whatever you want to call it. I'm so hungover. I'm sorry, but it's coming along. And then the next one, I plan on adding some sort of ventilation system. I still got to do a bunch of research about that. I don't know how you're going to get a lot of ventilation in there without getting some background noise, but I plan on also adding, like maybe on this side, an actual monitor for your session file, like just a TV screen to where you can see the session file, and maybe some other things. But for right now, I'm just trying to get the design down to where everything fits together and looks halfway decent. So once again, this is episode 3 of creating the Versa booth, and hopefully y'all keep them coming. Thanks.